I have another question that you probably were not expecting.
Okay.
Does President Biden want to limit Americans to 2 beers a week?
What? This is no lie, this isn't some dub, this isn't some meme that's been created. There is a press secretary having to answer questions about 2 beers a week. For some reason, I think Peter Doocy here was asking the question. Karine Jean-Pierre then kind of responded best way she could. Let's watch.
Does President Biden want to limit Americans to 2 beers a week?
Where is this coming from? Maybe I didn't miss you so much. Where is this coming from?
All right, well, Dr. George Koob, who is the director of the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, says the U.S. may soon follow Canada and recommend just 2 beers a week. How do you guys think that's going to go?
Let me tell you what I'm not going to get involved in that question right there. I have no idea. I've not seen the data. I cannot speak to this. I will leave it to the experts and not weigh in.
So if the experts say 2 beers a week, that's okay with President Biden?
I will leave it to the experts. I'm just not going to comment on that.
Okay.
So we're discussing 2 beers a week by some director who's talked about a recommendation. I'll give you guys details because it doesn't make any sense, I feel you. The panic is somewhat moot, by the way, about recommendations for how many beers to drink a week that's unsafe. To begin with, since the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism recommended that a recommendation about the 2 beers a week, there's no mechanism to enforce that limit, in case you guys didn't know, which already exists to 2 beers a day. But this whole panic, the reasons why that Peter Doocy is asking these questions is based off of even more of nothingness. Because the Mail Online mischaracterized their own interview with the Brewski Honchos, what they called it, the head of this alcoholism group here. They paraphrased by claiming that Dr. George Koob told them that the US, quote, could revise its alcohol advice to match Canada's. It so happens where they're advised to have just 2 drinks a week. So, I mean, the question is kind of that. So when Koob was asked about this whole thing, the reasons why they even associated this with being Canada and their 2 drinks a week is because he said, I mean, these whole standards and recommendations, they're not gonna go up, I'm pretty sure. So if alcohol consumption guidelines go in any direction, it'll be towards Canada, which is fewer drinks a week. Because I don't think you can expect a person who's looking to limit alcoholism, or at least his job, to be like, you know what, let's push to 16 drinks a day. It's not gonna be the route they're gonna go. A couple thoughts on it?
That's cap too. We know that when we bring up lobbyists and interest groups and bureaucracies, we know that alcohol money, it runs deep. So if you believe that the lobbyists of Budweiser just gonna allow for somebody to cap off their profits, you smoking dope and dog food. And you don't know how politics work in America. Because if you believe that some of the most lucrative industries gonna sit back and let you just create policy that impact their bottom line, you dumb. Like I shouldn't say that. You need to do
misinformed.
More. You're misinformed. That's what it's. You're misinformed very grossly.
Outstandingly. By the way, there's a bunch of other suggestions. It's about the cost of living, education, healthcare. There's people dying from these like that. There's all kinds of recommendations going around, but I'm not sure if we're asking about whether or not we're following those recommendations and actually allowing people to live their best lives, if a life at all, because we ignore all those anyway. But for some reason, when someone says, 2 beers a week is about the limit if you want to avoid being an alcoholic, then it turns into, well, how dare you tell me what to do? It's all manufactured. It's the same thing. As someone mentioned before, Mr. Potato Head, any of these drag queen fights, all this, it's all manufactured outrage. So the latest apparently is Joe Biden is coming for your beers. That's the plan. They'll laugh about it. People will take it seriously and they'll go back to the bank and people start fighting over beers while they can't pay their bills.